Hello students, today we are going to start the chapter motion, class 9 physics. So initially we need to know what is the meaning of motion. When any object changes its position with respect to time, that body is known to be motion. For example, car, buses, they usually changes its position with respect to time, so they are considered to be in motion. Second term which we need to know, that is rest. Now what is rest? See, if any object changes its position, we called it as motion. But in case if any object doesn't change its position with respect to time, that body is known to be in rest. Say for example, we are having the board here. It is not moving with respect to time. Now it is here. After few seconds, it will remain at here. So it is known to be at rest. But this pointer, initially it is at here, but after one second I am moving it. So this body is known to be motion. So many examples in our home, in our school, we are facing which are under motion or at rest. So firstly we need to know what are the types of motion. There are three types of motion. First is linear motion. Now what is linear motion? If a motion of a body is in straight line or a curved path, that motion is known to be linear motion. We can say it can be in straight line or at curved path. For example, trains on the railway tracks, they are in a straight line, so it is known to be the linear motion. Cars, buses, even my movement. Now see, I am moving in a straight line in a horizontal path. So this motion is also known to be the linear motion. Some more examples of linear motion in our daily life, they are raindrops. They are also in the straight line. They are also known to be in linear motion. Another example is sun rays. They are also in the straight path, so they are also considered to be in the linear motion. So in the end we can say whether its direction is in horizontal or vertical or slant line, it should be in a straight line, so that motion is known to be linear motion. Now the second one is circular motion. Circular motion. Now what is circular motion? If the path covered by a body is in circular shape, that type of motion is known to be circular motion. Means if a body moves around a fixed point, that path is known to be circular motion. We are having so many examples of circular motion in our daily life. First example is if any athlete is moving in a circular path, that is also one of the example of circular motion. We are having spinners, they are also in circular motion. In your childhood, you have played so many games. You have enjoyed so many rides. For example, merry-go-round, that is also in the circular shape. This is also the example of circular motion. So any motion which covers around a fixed point, that type of motion is known to be circular motion. Now next is vibratory motion. Next one is vibratory motion. Now what is vibratory motion? Firstly, we need to know what is the meaning of vibration. When any body moves between any 2 points, that type of motion is known to be vibratory motion. This type of motion we call it as to and fro. When any body moves between two bodies, we can say that motion to be to and fro, and this type of motion is known to be vibratory motion. Say we are having one example of simple pendulum. This is the bob. In the simple pendulum, the bob is moving like in this way. We are having one mean point and two extreme points. The bob is moving continuously in this way. So this type of motion is one of the example of vibratory motion. Another example is a child swings. The swings in our garden, they are also in this way. Two positions are there. The body is moving in the front, then backwards. That is also the example of vibratory motion. Now in respiration, we breathe continuously, we breathe in and we breathe out. When we breathe in, our stomach goes inside, and when we breathe out, our stomach goes outside. Even this you can check now also. when you breathe in and breathe out, your stomach is going inside outside, ठीक है ना, and you are breathing continuously full day. So again and again your body goes inside outside. This is also the example of vibratory motion. So we have done 3 types of motion. First one is linear one. In linear motion, a body is in straight line or a curved path, that is known to be linear motion. Second is circular motion. If a body cover its path in a circular form, that is known to be circular motion. And third one is vibratory motion. If a body is having 2 points, and that motion is known to be to and fro also. So these are the types of motion. Now after this we are having Now, we have read 2 terms, rest and motion. These 2 terms are relative with each other. Now, what is the meaning of relative? We explain this with one example. Say this is your school bus. You are sitting inside it. ठीक है ना? We are having one tree outside. When you are sitting inside the school bus, ठीक है? And your bus is moving in the forward direction, according to you, you are at rest position and the tree is at motion. The tree is moving in the backward direction. This case happens when you are inside the school bus. But in case you are near the tree, and some bus is moving in the forward direction, according to you, you are at rest position and the bus is in motion. Now see what happens here. In one example, if you are sitting inside the school bus, according to you, you are at rest and the tree is in motion. But in case you are sitting near the tree, you are at rest and the bus is in motion. Means in the same example, both the bodies they are at rest and both the bodies they are in motion. So these are known to be relativity. When in same thing, both the terms are correlated with each other. They are rest at one time and they are at motion at another time. These are known to be relative terms. That's why we called rest and motion to be the relative terms. Why? Because they both are at rest and both are in motion in the same example. Now, how to identify that when a body is at rest and when a body is in motion? For that, we need to know one term, that is reference point. Now, what is reference point? Reference point is that fixed point from where we can view the whole situation. When I am inside the school bus, I am pursuing the situation, I am at rest, tree is in motion. That means my reference point is school bus. And when I am at the tree, I am in rest and the school bus is in motion, then my reference point is the tree. So in this case, we have studied the 2 terms. First is reference point. What is reference point? The fixed point from where we can view the whole situation. And the second term is relative terms. Rest and motion, they are considered to be relative terms because in the same example, they are in at rest and they are in at motion. So this is all about describing motion. Now, the next topic is scalar and vector quantities. Scalar and vector quantities. Before we need to start the scalar and vector quantities, we need to know the 2 terms. First is magnitude. Magnitude means value. And the second thing is direction. Now, in the physics, some quantities are there which are having only magnitude, means only value. Say, if I ask you what is your mass, ठीक है ना? What will you say? Ma'am, my mass is 40 kg. Now you are giving me the answer 40 kg. This is the only value, means this is the only magnitude. Do your mass is having direction? No, na? Your mass is not having any direction. So this quantity is only having the magnitude. Similarly, if I ask you the time, ठीक है ना? What is the time? Suppose you say this is 9:10 a.m. This is also value. Is this having any direction? Did you say that it is 9:10 in the north direction, it is a 9:10 or in the east direction? No. This term, both they are having only magnitude. That means in the physics some quantities are there which exist, which are having only magnitude, not the direction. Those terms are known to be scalar quantities. So those quantities which are having only magnitude, they are known to be scalar quantities. For example, mass, time, distance, speed, etc. we will study in this chapter. Now the second term is vector. Okay, so say this is one of the block I am having and I ask you to just push that block. You are applying your force here. When you apply your force, the block shifted to some distance. Initially it was at A position, now it is at B position. You apply the force, you are giving here some value. When you apply the force, the body shifted now. If the body shifts, that means there is some change in the direction also. That means in this quantity we are having magnitude as well as direction. So those quantities which are having both magnitude and direction, they are known to be vector quantities, which are having both magnitude as well as direction. For example, force is one of the example of vector quantities, except that we are having displacement, velocity, etc., which we will read in this chapter. So from here we can conclude that scalar quantities are those quantities which are having only magnitude, say mass, time we have done, and vector quantities are those quantities which are having both magnitude as well as direction, force, pressure, etc. Now the next topic is distance and displacement. Distance and displacement. Okay, see, I am from Malerkotla. I am here. I came to school in Dhuri. I came here. This is Dhuri, approximately 15 kilometers. When I reached the school told me to shift to Sangrur. ठीक है ना? Now I am going to Sangrur. This is approximately 20 kilometers. Now if I need to calculate how much distance I cover, how will I calculate? Distance is 15 plus 20. It comes out to be 35 kilometers. Now how can I came to know that this is my distance? The actual path I covered, that is considered to be the distance. So from here we can say distance is actual path covered by a body. Actual path covered by a body. Now what is displacement? Now see, initially I came to Dhuri, then I go to Sangrur. Can I go directly from Malerkotla to Sangrur? This can be the shortest way, na? This can be approximately 30 kilometers. So the shortest distance between the initial and final position, that is known to be displacement. The shortest distance covered by the body, that is known to be displacement. Now next is, when I calculated the distance, I only check the values. This is 15, this is 20 kilometers. That means it is not having any direction. So we can say distance is scalar quantity. But when I need to calculate the displacement, I check my initial point, I check my final point. I need to draw a small line, I need to check the direction. So that's why displacement is vector quantity. Now see, distance is 35 kilometers, but displacement is only 30 kilometers. That means distance is always greater or it can be equal to displacement, but value of displacement is always less than distance. So our next point is distance always greater, or we can say equal to displacement, but this value is, it can be equal or smaller. Now next is, okay, so in case I want to go on Mount Everest, ठीक है ना, I want to go on Mount Everest. From here I want to start my journey. So initially I am having so much energy. I will just go by, rounding and rounding. I just reached here. But when I reached here, I found myself tired. So I just take the help of helicopter and reach here. ठीक है ना, this is the path of my helicopter and I reached at this point. But now I am at high altitude. Helicopters can't, they fly at the high. So I just take the help of a rope and I reach this point. So initially my position is this and finally my position is this. So if I want to calculate the distance, how I need to calculate the distance? I need to check this area, when I was going by foot. Then I need to check this distance also. Helicopter distance, how much it cover in the whole area. Then the distance of this path, by rope I am going in at the top of the hill. So this will be my distance. But if I need to calculate the displacement, how I need to calculate? This is my initial point. This is my final point. The shortest distance traveled, that is known to be the displacement. So from here we can say distance depend upon the shape, but displacement doesn't depend upon the shape. So next point is, it depends upon shape, but it is independent. Now one point more we can conclude from here. See, if I need to calculate the distance, I just need to find the shape. Initial and final point, they are having no values. But if I need to calculate the displacement, I just need to see what is the initial point and what is the final point, and I just need to draw a fixed line. So from here we can say distance doesn't depend upon the initial or final position, but displacement depends. It doesn't depend upon initial and final position, but it depends. So this is all about distance and displacement. We can just sum up. Distance is actual path covered by a body. ठीक है? Displacement is shortest path. Whether you go by swimming, whether you go by flying, displacement has no any use. It just check the initial and final position. It is a scalar quantity, that is a vector quantity. Its value is always greater or can be equal, but its value is always smaller or can be equal. This doesn't depend upon the initial and final position, but displacement depends. Distance depends upon the shape, but displacement doesn't depend upon the shape. Now, the last one point is the units. Last thing is units of distance and displacement. In the physics, we are having two kind of units. First is SI units, means standard international units. They are in meter, and second one is CGS units. They are the smaller units. SI units of distance and displacement is meter, and CGS units of distance and displacement is centimeter. So बच्चे, this is all about distance and displacement. You can revise up to here. Rest we will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.